Certain foods that are safe for humans can be harmful to miniature schnauzer. Because dogs have a different metabolism than people, feeding human foods to dogs can be very dangerous for their health and may even kill your miniature schnauzer. That's why in this video, we will share 20 foods that can be deadly to your miniature schnauzer. Number 1. Grapes and raisins. Raisins are in many of the foods that we love to eat, such as cakes, biscuits, and cereals, so it's not just the fruit form we should be concerned with. The active ingredient, which causes the toxin, is unknown. However, both grapes and raisins may cause severe liver damage and kidney failure. Number 2. Onion and garlic. The onion family, whether dry, raw, or cooked, is particularly toxic to dogs and can cause gastrointestinal irritation and red blood cell damage. Signs of illness are not always immediate and can occur up to a few days later. Number 3. Cooked bones. Giving your dog a raw, uncooked bone to chew on is great, but avoid cooked bones at all cost. These can easily splinter and in large quantities cause constipation or, at worst, a perforation of the gut, which can be fatal. Number 4. Avocado. Avocados are another poisonous food for dogs. Avocado plants contain a substance called persin, which is in its leaves, fruit, and seed, and can cause vomiting and diarrhea in dogs. Number 5. Cherries. The stems, leaves, and pits of cherries contain cyanide, a potentially deadly chemical. Cyanide kills tissues by making it difficult for them to use oxygen. The only part of a cherry that does not contain cyanide is the fleshy part around the pit. However, we don't recommend feeding that to your miniature schnauzer either. Cherries can get caught in your pup's airway and become a choking hazard. Number 6. Tomatoes. Dogs should avoid tomatoes. While fully ripened tomatoes are safe, the green part of the plant contains a substance called solanine, which is toxic to miniature schnauzer. To avoid any potential issues, it's better to steer clear altogether. Number 7. Mushrooms. Avoid feeding your dog any mushrooms. Though only a fraction of existing mushroom species are known to be poisonous to miniature schnauzer, those that are can be deadly. Identifying mushrooms can be tricky, even for experts. Therefore, you can never be 100% sure your dog would be getting a safe variety. Even one bite of a toxic mushroom could be fatal, so to be safe, avoid the fungi. Number 8. Garlic. Garlic is considered the most toxic of all the plants in the allium family. Keep all foods containing garlic out of paw's reach. Otherwise, ingestion of garlic can severely damage red blood cells, causing them to rupture. Number 9. Wild berries. Do not allow your dog to eat any wild berries. Though not all of these berries are poisonous, many are. It is always better to be safe than sorry. Number 10. Rhubarb. Commonly called the pie plant, rhubarb is frequently grown to use in desserts. However, it contains soluble oxalic crystals, making it toxic to miniature schnauzer. If ingested in large enough quantities, rhubarb can cause kidney failure in dogs. Number 11. Sugar-free candy and gum. Sugar-free candy, mints, and gum often contain xylitol. Xylitol, also called birch sugar, is a lower-calorie sugar replacement. This artificial sweetener can cause severe illness and death in dogs. To avoid xylitol poisoning, check the ingredients label on products, especially those labeled low sugar or sugar-free. Keep all items containing xylitol out of reach of pets. Number 12. Chocolate. Chocolate is poisonous to dogs because it contains theobromine and caffeine. Both of these components cause potentially deadly heart and central nervous system problems in dogs. The darker the chocolate, the more theobromine it contains. Therefore, it takes less semi-sweet dark chocolate to cause toxicity than milk chocolate. Some chocolate also contains xylitol, which is harmful for miniature schnauzer. Number 13. Caffeine and coffee. Many humans start the day with a cup of coffee, but our four-legged companions don't need the caffeine jolt. Also, dogs are far more sensitive to caffeine. Even a small amount can be toxic to them. Make sure coffee grounds are disposed of where a curious pup can't get them. And remember that caffeine isn't only in coffee. Check the labels on other energy-boosting products to make sure the caffeine stays away from your dog. Number 14. Soda. Keep your pup away from the soda as well. since it can be a source of caffeine. Some sodas, especially if they are labeled as sugar-free, also contain xylitol. Both caffeine and xylitol are toxic to dogs. Number 15. Raw or undercooked meat. Recently, some dog owners have embraced raw feeding. This trend advocates feeding your pup a raw diet to simulate what their ancestors ate in the wild. However, just because wild dogs eat raw meat doesn't mean your pet dog should. Raw or undercooked meat and eggs carry bacteria such as Salmonella, E. coli, and Listeria that can make humans and dogs sick. Number 16. Uncooked doughs containing yeast. If your canine companion takes a bite out of your bread, you probably don't have to be concerned. However, you should never feed your dog uncooked yeast dough. The dough can rise once in the dog's stomach, causing the stomach to bloat. Bloating can cause the stomach to twist, which is a life-threatening emergency. Number 17. Raw eggs. No doubt, eggs are full of protein, and if cooked well, can really benefit your dog's coat and digestive system. But one way they are not great is if you give eggs to them raw. Never mind not great, it's completely toxic. The reason for this is that raw eggs can contribute to a biotin deficiency. Eggs contain an enzyme known as avidin, which restricts the absorption of biotin, one of the many B vitamins. Even though biotin deficiencies are not that common in dogs, they could potentially still happen. If they end up having a biotin deficiency, they can be at risk of having an unhealthy coat, difficulty with digestion, skin problems, and more. Not forgetting eggs can also carry salmonella, which is highly poisonous to dogs. Number 18. Liver. Ingesting a large amount of liver will result in vitamin A toxicity, and it affects the muscles and bones of the dog. If they consume a large amount of it, their bones could become deformed, extra bone growth, anorexia, and more. Number 19. Salt. Eating too much salt could lead to a condition known as salt poisoning or water deprivation in dogs. This can cause neurological disorders, cerebral edema, vomiting, diarrhea, depression, tremors, fever, and seizures. It may even be fatal in severe cases. According to the American College of Veterinary Pharmacists, a dose of 2 to 3 grams per kg of body weight can be toxic to dogs, and 4 grams per kg can be fatal. Because of this, it is not a good idea to give your dog salted foods, such as pretzels, popcorn, or chips. Number 20. Citrus oil. While oranges are typically fine for your dog to eat, citrus oil, often used medicinally, is not. This is because of the insecticidal properties of the oil, which can lead to liver failure in dogs. In addition to preventing your pup from ingesting it, you should never rub it on your dog's skin medicinally because they are likely to lick it off. Note: many essential oils contain citrus, not just citrus oil itself.